Welcome to Fluency Game. Let's start. I arrived early to make a good impression. I arrived early to make a good impression. My manager introduced me to the whole team. My manager introduced me to the whole team. She explained the rules of the office clearly. She explained the rules of the office clearly. I wrote down important notes during training today. I wrote down important notes during training today. The computer system needed my login and password. The computer system needed my login and password. I asked a colleague for help with forms. I asked a colleague for help with forms. We shared a coffee before starting our tasks. We shared a coffee before starting our tasks. The office smelled of fresh paper and coffee. The office smelled of fresh paper and coffee. I checked my email inbox for new messages. I checked my email inbox for new messages. The printer jammed and I had to fix it. The printer jammed and I had to fix it. My boss showed me where the supplies are. My boss showed me where the supplies are. I signed several documents at the front desk. I signed several documents at the front desk. The air conditioner was too cold for me. The air conditioner was too cold for me. A coworker kindly explained the daily schedule today. A coworker kindly explained the daily schedule today. I had to wear my company badge always. I had to wear my company badge always. We introduced ourselves during the morning team meeting. We introduced ourselves during the morning team meeting. I tried to remember everyone's names carefully. I tried to remember everyone's names carefully. The phone rang and I answered politely. The phone rang and I answered politely. I joined the group chat for office communication. I joined the group chat for office communication. My supervisor asked me to organize some files. My supervisor asked me to organize some files. I carried boxes of documents to the archive. I carried boxes of documents to the archive. The stapler was missing, so I borrowed one. The stapler was missing, so I borrowed one. I scheduled tomorrow's meeting on the office calendar. I scheduled tomorrow's meeting on the office calendar. My colleague invited me for lunch at noon. My colleague invited me for lunch at noon. I scanned documents and sent them by email. I scanned documents and sent them by email. The break room had free coffee and tea. The break room had free coffee and tea. I washed my mug after finishing my coffee. I washed my mug after finishing my coffee. I adjusted my chair to sit more comfortably. I adjusted my chair to sit more comfortably. The internet connection failed during my first call. The internet connection failed during my first call. My boss explained the safety rules in detail. My boss explained the safety rules in detail. I learned how to use the copy machine. I learned how to use the copy machine. A coworker showed me where the bathrooms are. A coworker showed me where the bathrooms are. I checked the notice board for new updates. I checked the notice board for new updates. The office phone system seemed complicated at first. The office phone system seemed complicated at first. My boss asked me to write a report. My boss asked me to write a report. I made a checklist to remember my tasks. I made a checklist to remember my tasks. I asked questions to understand better the process. I asked questions to understand better the process. My team helped me feel very welcome today. My team helped me feel very welcome today. The office smelled like fresh ink and paper. The office smelled like fresh ink and paper. I typed emails quickly to answer client questions. I typed emails quickly to answer client questions. My colleague corrected a mistake in my document. My colleague corrected a mistake in my document. I received a visitor pass at the reception. I received a visitor pass at the reception. We discussed the company's goals in the meeting. We discussed the company's goals in the meeting. I had to remember many new passwords today. I had to remember many new passwords today. My boss encouraged me to ask for help. My boss encouraged me to ask for help. I practiced answering professional phone calls with confidence. I practiced answering professional phone calls with confidence. A colleague showed me the company's online platform. A colleague showed me the company's online platform. I uploaded files into the shared cloud system. I uploaded files into the shared cloud system. My desk was organized with pens and folders. My desk was organized with pens and folders. I kept water nearby to stay hydrated. I kept water nearby to stay hydrated. My coworkers asked me about my past experience. My coworkers asked me about my past experience. I smiled often to create a good atmosphere. I smiled often to create a good atmosphere. I introduced myself confidently to a new client. I introduced myself confidently to a new client. The coffee machine was busy during morning break. The coffee machine was busy during morning break. I forgot one paper, but someone reminded me. I forgot one paper, but someone reminded me. My manager gave me feedback on my progress. My manager gave me feedback on my progress. I felt nervous, but everyone was supportive. I felt nervous, but everyone was supportive. The meeting room projector wasn't working properly today. The meeting room projector wasn't working properly today. I learned where to store confidential documents safely. I learned where to store confidential documents safely. My colleague explained the emergency exit procedure clearly. My colleague explained the emergency exit procedure clearly. I asked permission before leaving my desk. I asked permission before leaving my desk. My boss introduced the company's history and mission. My boss introduced the company's history and mission. I practiced sending polite professional emails to clients. I practiced sending polite professional emails to clients. A coworker invited me to sit with them. A coworker invited me to sit with them. I signed in on the attendance sheet. I signed in on the attendance sheet. The office Wi-Fi required a special access code. The office Wi-Fi required a special access code. I received my first official work assignment today. I received my first official work assignment today. My boss explained deadlines for important projects clearly. My boss explained deadlines for important projects clearly. I saved all my work on the company drive. I saved all my work on the company drive. I joined a video call with remote employees. I joined a video call with remote employees. The headphones helped me concentrate during noisy hours. The headphones helped me concentrate during noisy hours. I organized papers into different colored folders. I organized papers into different colored folders. My computer froze, so I restarted the system. My computer froze, so I restarted the system. I printed my first set of client contracts. I printed my first set of client contracts. A coworker explained how to request office supplies. A coworker explained how to request office supplies. I watched a safety training video on screen. I watched a safety training video on screen. I noted important phone numbers on a sticky note. I noted important phone numbers on a sticky note. My supervisor praised my attention to small details. My supervisor praised my attention to small details. I learned to transfer calls on the phone. I learned to transfer calls on the phone. We laughed together at lunch, breaking the ice. We laughed together at lunch, breaking the ice. I shared stories about my first impressions today. I shared stories about my first impressions today. My boss reminded me to lock my computer. My boss reminded me to lock my computer. I learned where the first aid kit is. I learned where the first aid kit is. The clock seemed slower in the afternoon hours. The clock seemed slower in the afternoon hours. I reread instructions carefully before sending the report. I reread instructions carefully before sending the report. My password expired and I had to change it. My password expired and I had to change it. The office chairs were comfortable and adjustable. The office chairs were comfortable and adjustable. I learned how to reserve a meeting room. I learned how to reserve a meeting room. I filed documents alphabetically into the cabinet. I filed documents alphabetically into the cabinet. My colleague asked me to proofread their email. My colleague asked me to proofread their email. I joined the team for afternoon coffee break. I joined the team for afternoon coffee break. My boss encouraged teamwork and open communication today. My boss encouraged teamwork and open communication today. The elevator was crowded during lunch break time. The elevator was crowded during lunch break time. I carried my lunch in a small box. I carried my lunch in a small box. We discussed tomorrow's schedule over coffee and snacks. We discussed tomorrow's schedule over coffee and snacks. I introduced myself again to a late colleague. I introduced myself again to a late colleague. My pen ran out of ink during notes. My pen ran out of ink during notes. I borrowed a new pen from the secretary. I borrowed a new pen from the secretary. My first day felt both long and exciting. My first day felt both long and exciting. I thanked my boss before leaving the office. I thanked my boss before leaving the office. My colleague showed me how to use spreadsheets. My colleague showed me how to use spreadsheets. I practiced small talk at the coffee machine. I practiced small talk at the coffee machine. I helped move chairs into the meeting room. I helped move chairs into the meeting room. The office lights were too bright for me. The office lights were too bright for me. I asked politely about lunch break hours. I asked politely about lunch break hours. The office kitchen smelled of fresh sandwiches. The office kitchen smelled of fresh sandwiches. I noticed motivational posters on the wall. I noticed motivational posters on the wall. I tested the scanner to check if working. I tested the scanner to check if working. My manager asked me about my career goals. My manager asked me about my career goals. I practiced shaking hands with several new people. I practiced shaking hands with several new people. I checked the office map to find rooms. I checked the office map to find rooms. My coworker explained how to request sick leave. My coworker explained how to request sick leave. I asked for help with the printer settings. I asked for help with the printer settings. I installed new software with my boss's permission. I installed new software with my boss's permission. The office plants made the atmosphere more pleasant. The office plants made the atmosphere more pleasant. I drank water often to stay focused. I drank water often to stay focused. I kept my notes organized inside one notebook. I kept my notes organized inside one notebook. I signed an official contract with my employer. I signed an official contract with my employer. My boss introduced the company's main clients to me. My boss introduced the company's main clients to me. I had to wear formal clothes today. I had to wear formal clothes today. My coworker explained how to use the elevator card. My coworker explained how to use the elevator card. I practiced polite greetings with every new person. I practiced polite greetings with every new person. I studied the company's code of conduct carefully. I studied the company's code of conduct carefully. I kept my desk clean throughout the day. I kept my desk clean throughout the day. I learned how to answer professional phone calls. I learned how to answer professional phone calls. My boss reminded me to always check deadlines. My boss reminded me to always check deadlines. I tried to memorize names during introductions. I tried to memorize names during introductions. A colleague showed me the cafeteria and menu. A colleague showed me the cafeteria and menu. I checked the office rules on punctuality today. I checked the office rules on punctuality today. I took notes during the HR orientation session. I took notes during the HR orientation session. I received my employee ID card this morning. I received my employee ID card this morning. The company gave me a welcome package today. The company gave me a welcome package today. My manager explained the dress code in detail. My manager explained the dress code in detail. I introduced myself to the security guard downstairs. I introduced myself to the security guard downstairs. I carried my lunchbox inside my new bag. I carried my lunchbox inside my new bag. The office fridge was full of labeled containers. The office fridge was full of labeled containers. I made copies of documents for my supervisor. I made copies of documents for my supervisor. My colleague explained the overtime policy very clearly. My colleague explained the overtime policy very clearly. I found my way around using office signs. I found my way around using office signs. I learned the emergency phone numbers by heart. I learned the emergency phone numbers by heart. My boss explained the difference between two departments. My boss explained the difference between two departments. I carefully followed instructions during a software tutorial. I carefully followed instructions during a software tutorial. The cafeteria line was long at lunchtime. The cafeteria line was long at lunchtime. I joined a group for a short walk. I joined a group for a short walk. My coworker taught me shortcuts for the computer. My coworker taught me shortcuts for the computer. I checked the meeting agenda carefully this afternoon. I checked the meeting agenda carefully this afternoon. The office whiteboard had reminders and deadlines written. The office whiteboard had reminders and deadlines written. I placed my files in the cabinet drawer. I placed my files in the cabinet drawer. My colleague asked me to join their project. My colleague asked me to join their project. I practiced polite phrases when meeting new clients. I practiced polite phrases when meeting new clients. I joined a training session with other newcomers. I joined a training session with other newcomers. I used headphones to concentrate on my tasks. I used headphones to concentrate on my tasks. My supervisor praised my effort and dedication today. My supervisor praised my effort and dedication today. I learned how to log working hours online. I learned how to log working hours online. I remembered to refill the office printer paper. I remembered to refill the office printer paper. I asked questions about the company's main products. I asked questions about the company's main products. The HR department explained the health benefits clearly. The HR department explained the health benefits clearly. I organized sticky notes with today's main tasks. I organized sticky notes with today's main tasks. My desk phone rang several times in the afternoon. My desk phone rang several times in the afternoon. I answered politely and transferred the calls correctly. I answered politely and transferred the calls correctly. I practiced time management with small, simple tasks. I practiced time management with small, simple tasks. My coworker gave me tips for the cafeteria. My coworker gave me tips for the cafeteria. I wrote a short report for my supervisor. I wrote a short report for my supervisor. My boss encouraged me to always stay curious. My boss encouraged me to always stay curious. The office window view was relaxing and beautiful. The office window view was relaxing and beautiful. I remembered to lock my drawer before leaving. I remembered to lock my drawer before leaving. I joined colleagues for a quick afternoon snack. I joined colleagues for a quick afternoon snack. I carried papers carefully to the conference room. I carried papers carefully to the conference room. My manager explained the company's mission and vision. My manager explained the company's mission and vision. I asked for clarification during the group discussion. I asked for clarification during the group discussion. The office clock ticked loudly in the silence. The office clock ticked loudly in the silence. I carefully packed my bag at the end. I carefully packed my bag at the end. My colleague reminded me to log off computers. My colleague reminded me to log off computers. The janitor greeted me kindly before cleaning offices. The janitor greeted me kindly before cleaning offices. I thanked everyone for their patience and help. I thanked everyone for their patience and help. The first day was busy but very rewarding. The first day was busy but very rewarding. I checked tomorrow's calendar before leaving the building. I checked tomorrow's calendar before leaving the building. My boss reminded me to arrive early again. My boss reminded me to arrive early again. I carried my notes safely inside my folder. I carried my notes safely inside my folder. The elevator was crowded when I left work. The elevator was crowded when I left work. I greeted the receptionist on my way out. I greeted the receptionist on my way out. My coworker asked if I liked the office. My coworker asked if I liked the office. I smiled, saying I enjoyed meeting everyone today. I smiled, saying I enjoyed meeting everyone today. My supervisor encouraged me to rest and relax. My supervisor encouraged me to rest and relax. I felt proud of my effort this day. I felt proud of my effort this day. The office lights turned off automatically at night. The office lights turned off automatically at night. I saved my work before shutting down the computer. I saved my work before shutting down the computer. I remembered to return the visitor pass downstairs. I remembered to return the visitor pass downstairs. The security guard wished me a good evening. The security guard wished me a good evening. I waved goodbye to colleagues waiting for the bus. I waved goodbye to colleagues waiting for the bus. The hallway felt quiet when most people had left. The hallway felt quiet when most people had left. I wrote tomorrow's to-do list before heading out. I wrote tomorrow's to-do list before heading out. My shoes felt heavy after walking all day. My shoes felt heavy after walking all day. I stretched my back before leaving the building. I stretched my back before leaving the building. My coworker asked about my commute back home. My coworker asked about my commute back home. I checked my phone for missed personal calls. I checked my phone for missed personal calls. I thanked my manager again before leaving. I thanked my manager again before leaving. The sky outside was already dark and calm. The sky outside was already dark and calm. I took a deep breath, feeling accomplished. I took a deep breath, feeling accomplished. My first workday ended with gratitude and hope. My first workday ended with gratitude and hope.